as a veteran, small business owner, what can we do for you?
What we can all do for all veteran business owners is promote each other.
My main mission was to look at tools of technology to leverage small business and give them more of a competitive advantage.
My mission for Raton Bargains is very simple, to help vets.
That story in itself, to run for Vista City Council, is a journey.
I think this is an opportunity to really collaborate with those gone before us.
It's really kind of a labor of love.
And now your host.
And welcome back to this new episode of the Veterans Radio Show. We are national, and my name is Shelly Harrison. I'm your host, and today we have two phenomenal guests. I was talking to them in the green room, and you're in for a treat today. We've got some great guests. Our Veterans Radio Show, we talk to heroes in action, and just take a look at any successful business, organization, or institution, and you'll find a veteran or a military spouse behind that success. And we want to welcome our live audience. We're streaming on a lot of different platforms. So we've got LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. So make sure you let us know your comments, questions. We want to hear from you, and we'll get those questions answered for you as best we can. As far as my first guest, I'm going to bring him on, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Our first guest is Michael Allison, and Michael Allison is a U.S. Marine veteran. Born in Jamaica and raised in Miami, Florida, he completed 8 years of honorable service in the Marines with tours in Parris Island, Camp Lejeune, Okinawa, Japan, Camp Pendleton, and many others. He is a Purple Heart recipient due to injuries in Iraq. He is now the CEO of Line Painting of Boca Raton. So without further ado, I want to bring Michael on the show. Hello, hey, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. And we're so thankful to have you here today. And I know we have some great questions to ask you. And why don't we just go ahead and get right into this, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself and your military experience.
Sure. A little bit about myself. Michael Allison, born in Jamaica, was from some humble beginnings. Came to the United States when I was 8 years old. And we lived in Overtown. We lived in Miami. We lived in Opelika in Carroll City. And I played high school football.
Oh, and, you did? Huh?
Yeah, I did.
What position?
I played offensive line.
Oh, offensive line. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I suffered some injuries, and I tore my ACL, tore my MCL. And then things was a little bit rough for me, and I was contemplating, like, what am I going to do after I graduate high school? Yeah. So then I looked into all of the different branches of service, but the Marine Corps was the one that stuck out for me, meant the most for me, and saw a path for a career where I wanted to do. So with that being said, I enlisted in the Marine Corps. I served in Parris Island, South Carolina. I then served at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, Okinawa, Japan. Then I went to Camp Pendleton, California. And then I went to Iraq in 2004. That was a crazy time. Oh. And then after that, I went to Quantico, Virginia, where I finished my 8-year tour in the Marine Corps.
Gosh, so you really did do a lot of world travel, didn't you? And served our country. And we absolutely appreciate that, Michael. And just know that we want to just give back and make sure that, that we can do things for, veterans like you that need resources. So thank you again for your service and for your family, because they contribute as well to your service.
Absolutely. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So with, as far as your military experience, you have this business in a beautiful place too, by the way. As far as your business, how did the military help you really kind of catapult into this business?
Sure. I love that question. I think when I was looking into line painting, I saw the infrastructure that was put in place. And then I knew that my leadership skills, my kind of stick-to-itiveness, my thoroughness, my detail-orientedness would align well with this particular business. Yeah. I knew that this was a calling when the pandemic came, where it was listed as an essential business. So then I knew that my skills would be transferable into this business, as I have the background. A little quick story here. My grandfather was a contractor. So so I grew up seeing him like build houses and paint houses and things like that. And then I started becoming a little bit much more skillful in those areas. And then I went on and become a project manager, a contractor. So I knew that this was a field that I knew that I could get into. But my military background definitely set me up to just go into this business a little bit much more seamless.
Yeah. So your grandfather kind of inspired you, didn't he, with his business?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is so cool. So cool. And I think for our audience, you know, some people might not know what line painting is. Can you explain that for us and share with our audience?
Sure. So line painting is a high-end painting business. We pride ourselves in being the authority in painting and coating restoration for your business. We offer over 40 different services. It's a EPA certified business, OSHA certified business, licensed and insured business. And we also rated by the Better Business Bureau as a A+ business. Like I said, we offer over 40 different services. We do interior, exterior, commercial, residential, and we also do government contracts if those opportunities present themselves as well.
Oh, that is fantastic, because I know the government contracts, there's a lot out there for construction and the line of work that you're in. So it sounds like you stay pretty busy and you have all the great, you know, certifications that are required or needed. And I'm sure that helps, you know, with your business and the things that you're doing with your team. What challenges do you face in your business that you've conquered, and how can you help others, Michael, with what you've conquered?
I think initially some of the challenges that I faced was more personal. It was where it was just trying to get past that fear of like being in your own way, of like taking that leap of faith. I was in corporate America for close to over 20 years, and I just decided just to take a leap of faith and bet on myself. And then
good decision, right?
Yes. Then just learning the business itself, it took a while. So I had to like dig into the details. Some of the challenges were, you know, I had to understand setting up a business process, those sorts of things. Understanding that you need to have your personal credit good, your business credit good, those sorts of things that you need to have structured in place. The hiring process, like, you know, when you work for a corporate company, the hiring process is already in place. But when you're the one that's doing all the job posting, the hiring, interviewing, all those skills and things like that, those are taking place for you. And those were some of the learning challenges that I had to go through. But through it all, it's all been a learning experience. I'm happy that I did it. It's been a blessing thus far.
Oh, well, there's a lot of things that, you know, that go into a business. And once you conquer those things and you're able to just, you know, continue to grow your business, I think it's helpful when, you know, like we're doing this interview and you're sharing with others and our audience. So thank you for sharing that information, because it's important. It really is. And when you were a child, Michael, what did you want to be when you got older? I mean, when you think back to your, you know, 6-year-old self, what did you want to be?
It's funny you bring that up. So I always had the entrepreneur spirit growing up. So growing up, I would like sell candy, like in the elementary school, the middle school. You know, I did all those things growing up. And then when I got into high school, when I did one of those career like evals, I always wanted to be like a restaurant owner. So I always had that entrepreneur mindset. I just like the freedom that entrepreneur gives you. And it gives me the ability to spend time with my family, with my son, and just travel as much as I want. So I love that flexibility that it gives me. But as a kid, I just always knew that this was something that was going to be for me. It just was a matter of time for me just to go out and just do it.
Yeah, that entrepreneur spirit. Yes,
Right.
I know that vibe. And and you said you have a son. So how old is your son?
My son is 14 years old. He's in high school right now. He goes to Olympic Heights High School here in Boca Raton. He's actually in their engineering program and a offensive lineman on the football team. So he's doing real well.
Oh, wow. So he might be a football player then, right?
That's one of his aspirations, but I try to push the education thing primarily first. But you know, football, if he lucks up, then I'll be a proud dad.
Yeah, especially if he gets in the NFL, right?
Absolutely.
Well, we'll put that out there in the universe right now. Definitely.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. And I also, I know that you are a Purple Heart recipient. Can you tell us about that and share with our audience?
Sure. So I guess before I even go into that, I get that question asked where I was not even comfortable speaking about it in the past, but through lots of counseling, lots of self-help and some family support and things like that, I'm comfortable talking about it more now. But before I always do, I always got to say condolences and rest in peace to the guys that I served with and some of the guys that I lost. So Corporal Combs, Lieutenant Weatherby, Corporal Mellowat, Corporal Salto, and Lance Corporal Puckett. Those guys lost their lives over there while I was serving as well. So I always have to pay condolences and respect to them and their family.
Thank you for sharing their names, because we will never forget them, and we appreciate their sacrifices.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For myself, my injury took place when I was in Iraq. I was on a supply run, and we was coming back we actually captured some Iraqis that attacked us the previous day. And I was coming back to link back up with my crew or my platoon. And then while I was doing a supply run, we was in like a 360 perimeter. And while I was coming back around, one of those like taxis that had like a 500-pound car bomb inside of it drove up on the back of one of our Humvees. The blast killed quite a few guys, and shrapnel from the Humvee, shrapnel from the car hit me in the shoulder, and you can see above my eye I have some scars and things like that from that. So that's what took place. But I'm just thankful and glad to be alive.
Yeah, well, we are too, and thankful that you're here with us today. We thank you again, and we're happy that you're doing very well in your business. And I'm curious, Michael, what life lesson have you learned that had a big impact on your life?
I try to stay humble. I try to stay grounded. I never get too high, never get too low. Most people would probably say Michael is just an even keel, kind of chill, kind of smooth kind of person. So that's what it is. I just know that life comes in like peaks and valleys, and you just got to take things in stride, but never give up. Always keep on persevering. Always keep on like pushing yourself through any like situation or circumstances. There are always like lessons to be learned within that. So I'm always thankful and grateful for anything that it is. And then the biggest thing for me is like, don't be afraid to like challenge yourself, step outside of your comfort zone, and learn from those things. I always been someone that I was kind of like shy and an introvert and not willing to step out. But through like pouring into my faith, pouring into myself, investing in myself, I've seen that doing that, I've created much more relationships. I've been communicating with much more people. People is just like supporting me, like, go Michael, go. So,
Isn't that a great feeling to know that you have the cheerleaders, the people that support you and really know your heart? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're so happy, Michael, that you're here, because you are definitely, I just met you for the first time, and I just feel the warmth that you have and your kind of your drive and the things that that you're working through and want to do within your company, and building it. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And I have a couple more questions, Michael, before we go to our next guest. I wanted to find out, what words of wisdom would you like to share with our audience, whether it's to our veterans or to our general audience, or both?
So I like to share to the veteran community. Personally, for myself, when I got out, I actually did not speak about anything that I did in the military for several years, because there was I would say like stigma based on veterans getting out during like when the war kicked off and things like that. So I just kind of like bottled things in and stuff like that. And it affected me personally, professionally, as I got out of the military when I was 27, 28 years old. So what I would say to the veteran community is, like, if you are struggling with any mental health issues or personal issues and things like that, there's tons of resources that are out there that you could all you have to do is ask or just reach out. Personally, if you reach out to me on my company's website, my email, or my Instagram, anything like that, I'd be more than willing to be a resource for you, communicate with you, and help you as much as I can. So that's one of the things that I would share.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. That's great wisdom, Michael. And what is next for you?
So what's next for me is for line painting, it's actually two things. So for line painting, we're in quarter 4 right now. So we're kind of like closing down a little bit on production for the Thanksgiving holidays and Christmas holidays.
Oh,
But
yeah.
so I would say maybe towards like December, we're going to be putting in do more recruiting as we get ready to relaunch again in January. So with that being said, though, we are offering. I'm partnering with a local organization here for Thanksgiving. So anyone that does a service with us, we're going to be giving away free turkeys to a charity organization of their choice. So that's what we're going to be doing in November. And then December, we'll be doing recruiting, and then we'll relaunch again the business to start things off for the new year.
Oh, very nice. And how do people reach you, Michael?
Sure. So on my company's website, you could go to linepainting@bocaraton.com, and you can reach me there directly. My email is attached to it. And then our phone number is there as well, so you can reach me on that. If you want to reach me on social media, you can find me at Mr. Michael Allison on Instagram, on Twitter, and then on LinkedIn, Facebook, just Michael W. Allison.
Yeah, and I've already connected with you on LinkedIn. That's great. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Michael. We want to remind our audience that we're here with Michael Allison today. He is a U.S. Marine veteran, and he owns his own company, Lime Painting. And, great guy, and just please connect with him. And you heard his special that they have for the holiday season. So share that with, whoever you know that's in that area. I want to thank our audience for being here. We have YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And our next guest is Michelle Bergquist, and I'll tell you a little bit about her. I've known Michelle for probably about 7 or 8 years now, and she is truly just a phenomenal woman, and you're going to see why. Michelle Bergquist is the CEO and co-founder of Connected Women of Influence, and it's the organization is an invitation-only professional association for women leading people, projects, teams, and companies. And it's for men too. Men can join. And Michelle is just making an impact on a national level. So I would love to welcome my dear friend, Michelle Bergquist.
Well, hey there, Shelley.
Hello, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm humbled coming after Michael. I'm like, what a story of service. That's a wow. So wow.
Yeah, that is a wow.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially the Purple Heart, being a Purple Heart recipient. Yeah. And just a service overall. Absolutely. Well, now we're going to switch over to you. And the first question that I have for you is, people may not know what Connected Women of Influence is all about. So can you share with us, what is CWI?
And we never want to be a secret, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. We don't want to be such a secret. But, Connected Women of Influence, think of us as a trade association for female leaders. So, like an organization that has a common mission, a common purpose, or even a common demographic of members. It's like ours is a membership organization that is solely passionately focused on seeing women flourish and thrive in business and industry and enterprise. So our members come together where, it's funny to me, we have small business owners and enterprise level CEOs that are female leaders in our association. Mm-hmm. We also have women who work for organizations, but the biggest thing is it's that camaraderie. And our number one goal is to see more women who are in business and industry collaborate, whether it's through support of, ideas or interaction, or, some of our members collaborate together on projects and initiatives and even partnerships in business. One of the things I always love to say, because men do this so great, men build such great relationships on the golf course. And with women, it's different, right? So we build relationships, I'm going to say, over a glass of wine, over conversation, or many glasses of wine. But, the idea is that women can build camaraderie and relationships in a little bit different way. And then we also engage men into our association because their perspective, one, we love men. And we love the perspective that men bring to women in leadership. So that's just a touch of us.
Yeah, that's a great kind of a foundation of, CWI and what you're all about. And when you think back, when this all first started, what was your vision for CWI at that time?
It's funny. because it's 13 years now, right? And coming through last year, in the global pandemic, that was a test of wills, I have to say, just from what I heard our members going through, what we were going through as someone in the event industry. But I think when we first started CW, I have to be honest, I don't know that we really knew. I mean, what we did with myself and 3 other co-founders was to bring a group of women that we knew and come together for conversations and discussions. It wasn't anyone talking at you, but that synergy of coming together and breaking bread, or being in a boardroom and having just these wonderful conversations among women of how you do what you do, what, are kind of your keys to success, and how have you navigated this or navigated that. That was really at the core, that we didn't realize that is the reason that so many women love what we're about, is nobody's talking at you and telling you what you have to do. We're sharing with you that this is the experience I've had, and you can decide how you take action and learn from each other. So I think that is a really big difference that we've really leveraged over the years into some of our events, into some of our topics and our conversations. And now, of course, over Zoom with our Zoom meetings that we still will do. I mean, it's amazing how people are connecting with each other nationally right now. It's phenomenal.
Oh, I know. And, knowing your organization, you kind of touched the tip of the iceberg, but really it goes way beyond that with Sue Talks. And you have Women Lead Radio, you have Women Lead TV, and there's so many different, facets of women being able to get involved in this organization, and men too. And even the inner circles, I know about the inner circles. And can you talk a little bit about, talk a little bit about those, because I know that those are very, kind of very much admired within your membership.
Well, and I think too, what's been central to us is that we're not a book that has been written. Like, what's so great about Connected Women of Influence, at least for our members, is that our members will tell me, Michelle, can we try this? Can we try that? Have you ever thought of this or that? And I'm always like, that's how our Sue Talks came about. It was, we were looking for a different type of event, and we didn't have something that was kind of a talk, something that was like a TED Talk. And so we started one that was about women's advancement. But at any rate, on the inner circles, I think what's fascinating about how we network today, I mean, one of the things I always love to say is, one, everyone, maybe a lot of people hate to network, but everyone wants a network, right? So key thing is in the inner circles, you really want this kind of private, safe space that, one, contractually, everyone is confidential in what you talk about. That's number one. Number two, it's got to be a space where you feel like you're heard and you're supported. And so many women will share when they're in boardroom meetings or they try to speak up, it's like they're not heard. So the inner circles are meant to be kind of the small, safe, confidential, but trusting area that you can bring up things that maybe, you wouldn't in normal circles, and get some of those shared experiences of advice from other women who have been there and done that. But the beauty of the inner circles is that you're not just there to be supported. You also, and this is what's always amazing to me, is women will say, like, I don't have the expertise these others do. And it's like, no, you kind of do. Your experiences can benefit the other members in the group. And it really becomes this wonderful bridge of support back and forth in that trusted, safe, and confidential space. So they have really been our secret sauce, I feel, even through the pandemic, as so many of our groups held together just to be able to be that place and meet everybody where they were. We all had a different experience, and we're dealing with different things even now coming out of the pandemic.
Yes. And, and I want to say that I'm proud that my own company is a director level sponsor with CWI. So we've been fortunate to, to collaborate and really get involved and push, initiatives that help other women in business. So thank you, Michelle, for everything that you do. Two things. I believe we're going to be bringing in our executive director here in just a moment. We do have a question, and let's see what that question is. And
I want to say thank you for your support, Shelley. So I didn't get a chance to chime in, but thank you for your sponsorship.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Michelle. I definitely appreciate that. And let's see, I love this. Can women join if they are in any state, and are there certain requirements to join?
Yeah, no, great question. Thank you for that. I didn't see
Yeah.
who that was, but absolutely. So in Connected Women of Influence, we are what we say invitation only. And let me say, our also goal is that we want this wonderfully diverse association of women from different professions, right? Like we don't want to be all financial advisors or a women of all coaches. It's like it's the industry diversity that makes CWI great. It's also the backgrounds of some of our members, and at the same time, the different ages. I have to say, one thing that we just came out with is our support of the next generation. And that's super exciting because so many of our members are very, long-term in business and they know what they're doing, but now we're giving back to that next gen. And at the same time, it's like, how do you join? It's like the requirements are, let's have a conversation, because the whole goal of joining Connected Women of Influence is for us to know that, one, it's like you want to support other women. And two, what are you looking for support and advocacy for? Because everybody is looking for some value out of CWI. And we're not just about, hey, join us. We want to make sure we're a good fit for you and vice versa. So on our website, you can, hit the application or ask to have a conversation. But, we've got plenty of the in your face buttons that would allow you to contact us. And they all come into me. So it's good.
And do you want to share the website, Michelle?
I would love to share the website.
Yes,
so
please.
It's a long one, I have to admit, but our website is connected, and there it is, womenofinfluence.com.
Very good. Yeah. So I encourage women and again, men that, that are interested. Michelle,
our term for men, right? Our dedicated dudes.
Dedicated dudes. That's right.
Very,
yes. And I want to mention that our executive director of the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce just gave his Sioux Talk last month, and he did a phenomenal job. So, for those of you that would like to watch it, it was very inspirational, and all of them are. So,
and Joe is now he's an official dedicated dude now. So we're very excited about that. So yes.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah. Well, I believe that we are going to bring Joe in, and we'll see here backstage. I know that there he is. Well, welcome.
Hey, Michelle.
We have Joseph Molina.
Well, welcome, Michelle. It's really nice to see you again.
You too.
Well, we're honored to have you. You are definitely a pillar and an entrepreneurial driver in your area, and we totally respect and we feel honored to be part of your group. And I just got to share that it was such a fun doing the presentation that it was just totally amazing.
You were the sole man on stage, a bunch of group of women. So
that's right.
Amazing.
I was surrounded by women. Yeah, my wife was there. So
yeah, she was.
So she enjoyed it too.
Yeah, we were there to cheer Joe on. He did a great job.
He did great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, Michelle, and for sharing what your organization does. And we were just talking to Shelly. Shelly also runs our chapter. And we were also talking to you about sponsoring the next generation. So the Veterans Chamber, the National Veterans Chamber, would like to be also kind of contributing to that effort. So I know that's very important.
Thank you for that. And I do need to say we also support the Foundation for Women Warriors, and so we have our awards event next week. So we interact with some amazing women veterans that. Again, so many of all of the veterans are just so humble in what they do. And we're excited to raise money for this nonprofit and would love to partner, with your organization. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We would like to also contribute to them as well. So we're all about sharing is caring, they say. So
collaboration, partnership, and doing the right thing for our communities.
And I know that's from a Disney movie, right? It's sharing is caring. That's
it is.
Right? I thought I created
Michelle
that,
knows.
Michelle. I thought I created that. I didn't invent that. Bummer.
Just own it. It came from Disney. Just saying.
Okay. We'll have to give them the credit where the credit's due. But I also want to say that people like you. And I know Michael is in the green room, but I also want to say thank you to Michael for sponsoring. Michael was our sponsor for the entire month of October.
Wow.
So I wanted to,
that's right. Yes.
I wanted to say thank you, and we really appreciate that partnership. And it's really organizations like yours, Michelle, luminary leaders, organizations, Michael's companies that bring all this possible. It brings all these things together. But that's what they keep me out of the green room or in the green room because I talk too much. Shelly, I'll get back to you.
Okay.
I've never known that about you, Joe, that you talk to me. I mean that sincerely. That is not the case. So,
Well,
great. All right. Well, thank you so much, Joe. We appreciate you being here and talking with our guests and leading the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce. And we want to say, thank you to Michael Allison, who was our first guest, U.S. Marine veteran and Purple Heart recipient. Also, he owns his own company, who is our sponsor for the whole month of October. So thank you to Line Painting of Boca Raton, and also to Michelle Bergquist, who is one of my dear friends with Connected Women of Influence. And if you want to learn more about the membership, trust me, you will be so excited to hear all of the wonderful things that are going on. And they do have Sioux Talks December 7th in Orange County. So if you want to know more, you can reach out to Michelle or to me, and we'll share more. But with that, I want to thank our live audience for being here. Thank you for tuning in and your questions that are coming in. And until next time, we'll see you next Friday.